Tomodachi Life Living the Dream has been my favourite game to release since the Nintendo Switch 2 was released. I've had so much fun helping my Miis make friends, feeding them, and playing games with them. That's right. The Miis can sometimes ask to play games with you, which is a ton of fun. So I thought today I'd share my terrible opinions and rank each of the 15 minigames in Tomodachi Life Living the Dream from worst to best. This list will be based purely off of how much fun each of the games are. Just bear in mind here that I do enjoy all of these minigames, just some more than others. I'd also love to talk about Tomodachi Collection and Life for the 3DS, but I'm not Japanese so I can't play Collection, and I have no real way of getting 3DS footage. Now, I could always emulate, but anyway, onto the list. Number 15, Odd One Out. Saying Odd One Out is the worst minigame is honestly a disservice to it. It's not even that bad. Like I said, I like all the minigames in this game, so if you're a fan of Odd One Out, don't take it personally, but something did have to come last place, so why Odd One Out? Odd One Out is a minigame where you have to, well, work out who the odd me out is. You'll have 4 Miis, and 3 of them will be wearing the same costumes and doing the same pose, but there will be one wearing a different costume and doing a slightly different pose. The thing is with this minigame is that it's way too easy. I've got over 100 hours in this game and not once have I had any problem with this minigame. It also becomes a bit tedious at points due to how long it takes, but that's probably just a problem with me having a fried attention span. There's nothing objectively wrong with this one, it's just way too easy and mildly uninteresting. Number 14, Latte Art Quiz. Latte Art Quiz appears to be the replacement for Mii Pixel Quiz from Tomodachi Life on the 3DS. What happens here is your Mii sits in the restaurant and shows you 3 cups of coffee, which all have different Mii faces swirled in them, and you have to work out which Mii is in the cup. Now, Mii Pixel Quiz was always one of my favourites in the 3DS game, so what's wrong with Latte Art Quiz? I feel like it boils down to the concept of the minigame itself, and the fact that the third round of this minigame honestly just feels like absolute BS and is just a complete guess half the time. It's very hard to make out facial features half the time on this round specifically, however, this minigame does seem to be on the rarer side as I don't even think I've had this game appear 30 times yet in my playthrough, so I don't mind playing it every now and then. Number 13, Moving Cups. Okay, so those were the only 2 minigames I have, quote, major criticisms for. Moving Cups is our other minigame exclusive to the restaurant. The Mii hosting will put on a magician costume, which does look really cool, but make sure you don't get distracted by this, as this minigame's all about concentration. The Mii will move the cups around and you have to follow which one has the coin under it. This one's alright, but it also does go on a little bit like Odd One Out, but not to the same extent since you do still need to be paying attention a lot more. I do also like how the Mii will ask a completely unrelated question to you before you give your answer for the last question just to try and bait you out. So you do still need to be paying attention right until the end of this one. I mean, it is a good minigame, it's just not really anything special. Number 12, Coin Spin. Coin Spin is exactly what it says on the cover. A Mii spins a coin and you have to guess if it's going to be heads or tails. If you get it right, you win. If you don't, you lose. So this one is a luck one, which I don't mind having too much, as it's pretty short to play and it is pretty unique from everything else we have in this game. It's sort of like cards from Life on the 3DS in terms of being total luck if you win. I do like the added touch of the coin used each time being a different Mii and always having a funny design. It's pretty cool that the coin can land on its side, though I know it's pretty rare, I've not had it occur yet. Overall, it's another good one, just not really too much substance to it. Number 11, Mii Shadow Quiz. In this minigame, you're presented with an outline of a Mii, and you have to try and guess which Mii it is out of the 3 options presented to you. However, most of my Miis are pretty distinct until I accidentally give them the same outfits, so if all your Miis have unique outfits, this one is pretty easy, especially if you're paying attention when you give them these outfits. However, if you aren't, this one might be a bit harder. That would be if your Miis didn't use their pose quirks after a few seconds, which enables you to narrow it down which Mii it is pretty quickly, especially as there are only 3 options. This minigame's alright, just it can be a bit easy if you know what you're doing. Number 10, What's Missing? A Mii will be sat down at the table in their house and present you with 2 items and you have to work out which of the 3 options is missing. This one is good, although the first 2 rounds are a bit easy, with the objects being clear as day. The 3rd round though is what makes this one as good as it is. My gripe with a lot of the upcoming quizzes are that there seems to be an over-reliance on using custom items with the Miis. It's not uncommon at all that at least one of the 3 options is going to be a custom item, and that also does apply with this minigame. Due to this and the problem of the first 2 rounds being a bit easy, it's ranking at number 10. It's still not bad, like I said already, I do get enjoyment out of all of these, just there are other minigames I do enjoy more. Number 9, Double Shadow Quiz. Double Shadow Quiz features 2 shadows and you have to work out what these 2 shadows are. It's basically the opposite of the last round of What's Missing, however, it is more enjoyable than that, as there is a lot more challenge here, which I believe comes down to plated food. If you've got 3 options that are all plated food and all you can see is the outline of 2 plates, you do kind of just have to make a guess, which does make it a lot more satisfying when you get it right. However, like I previously mentioned about custom items, you're likely to get at least one option that's a custom item, so that does remove some of the difficulty. And unlike a game we might see in a minute, needing to pick 2 items out of 3 instead of just the 1 out of the 3 increases the odds of winning and makes it subsequently easier. But other than that, this is still a strong minigame. Number 8, Shadow Quiz. And here is that minigame, you only pick 1 item out of 3. What subtle foreshadowing that was. This is the exact same as Double Shadow Quiz, but there's only 1 shadow. Who would have guessed that? I mean, it would be silly if there was 3. Anyway, yeah, bring over the same thing about plates being funny when they show up, custom items appearing way too frequently, and then remove the bit about having increased odds of winning because, you know, you're only picking 1 item, and done. So yeah, good minigame. Not much else to really say that I haven't already said. Number 7, Bowling. Bowling's fun. I like bowling. Am I any good at it in real life? No, I'm absolutely terrible. Am I any good at it in this game? No, I'm still absolutely terrible. Do I find it fun in this game? Absolutely. Yes, I do. You have a set amount of balls to bowl towards the Miis that are awkwardly stood as bowling pins, and you have to knock all the Miis down to win. I like that there are different layouts for the Miis to stand in. It really does help to keep things fresh each time you play. There is also some rage bait going on with the Miis as well, as there are some points where you definitely should have knocked a Mii down and they just don't fall. It can be pretty funny at points, but it can also make you want to destroy your Switch if you've had a bad game and now your Miis are just baiting you. It is very fun though, and we've started getting to the minigames where there are very few flaws to comment on. Number 6, Zoom Quiz. Zoom Quiz is another quiz, where this time a part of the object will be zoomed in and you have to work out which object it is based on this. Unlike the last few quizzes that have suffered from having plates, this one's more funny than anything. Sometimes the image can just zoom in on a solid colour, like the white of the plates, and it can just be really challenging to work out what the hell you're looking at. This minigame can also literally zoom in on nothing, so you have to try and work out what you've got based on the void around you, which I find really funny. Oh, yeah, and custom items still come up too frequently. It is a very simple minigame, but it's definitely deserving of being this high up. However, it's not my favourite quiz in this game. That award goes to... Number 5, Pixel Quiz. Pixel Quiz is the same as all the other object quizzes, but instead of a random part being zoomed in or it being a shadow, it's just a random mesh of pixels. I find this one to be the most fun out of all the quizzes just because it feels the most fair with the plates. The plates are obviously shown all as white pixels, but by that point you can narrow it down to a plate item. But if you've got 3 items that belong on a plate, that's not the most helpful thing. However, you can use the colours of the pixels on the plate, which often help to narrow your options down. Also, from my experience with this minigame, it feels like there's decreased odds on custom items appearing, but that might literally just be me. So yeah, I'd say this one's very deserving of being the best ranked quiz. Number 4, Red Light, Green Light. So this is just like red light, green light from Squid Games, where you have to sneak up on the Mii when they say green light and stop when they say red light. That doesn't sound too bad, but the timing is quite strict when the Mii shouts red light. But the best bit about this minigame is that the Mii often says red light and begins to turn back around like they normally would when they say green light, and then turns back around. This makes it a lot harder as you need to pay close attention and make sure you don't carry on walking until the Mii says green light. I really like this one, and when I see a Mii just standing by the wishing fountain, I always pray for this minigame to come up. Number 3, Poke the Ferris Wheel. Poke the Ferris Wheel is peak. I don't care if you disagree with me. This minigame can surprisingly only appear when a Mii is by the Ferris wheel, and you get a certain amount of pokes to get the Mii's carriage into the win zone at the bottom of the Ferris wheel, and this zone is very small. It's really satisfying doing this one. The physics do feel a bit weird, but whatever, it's still great. I don't really know what else to say here, it's just really fun and suspenseful, especially when you just barely snag the goal. Number 2, Group No Repeats. Group No Repeats is incredible. A group of 2, 3 or 4 Miis will challenge you and you have to build up a chain of foods that haven't been mentioned yet from the 3 options. The minigame ends when either yourself or one of the Miis says a food that has already been said or an item that isn't a food. This minigame is so suspenseful and it feels really good when you beat the Miis after a really long round of back and forth. However, there is one minigame that's better than this. Number 1, No Repeats. Yeah, okay, it's the exact same as Group No Repeats, except there's only one Mii, which does make it feel more likely that it's going to be you that messes up. What else is there really to say? There's nothing better than knowing a Mii's messed up after a long round and then pulling a...
Oh, stuffed cabbage roll is a repeat.
It's intense, challenging at points, and very satisfying, and that's why I think No Repeats is the best minigame in Tomodachi Life Living the Dream. So anyway, what did you think of my list? Make sure to let me know in the comments down below, and if you want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, sure. Today's scrolling reels. What are you doing there? Absolutely. I love scrolling reels. I can't stop thinking about it day and night. I really am totally obsessed with scrolling reels. If you'd like, I could talk to you about it non-stop. I would like nothing more.